All right, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to the first ever edition of the Bryce Boudreaux Show. This literally just happened overnight. What started as a way to just hype up this weekend's Bayou Fighting Championship event has turned into its own thing. I've been sitting on the name The Bryce Boudreaux Show for a while, but I didn't really know what to do with it. But now we have a place for it, and
I think
maybe,
it's
just
perfect.
maybe, I'll continue doing this uh, weekly. Who knows? So, can you hear that back there?
I I, I I can see it. Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. I got an echo coming from back there.
Oh no, I don't hear it. I don't hear it.
Okay, good.
Uh,
That's all that matters. I think it's my TV automatically played. It's playing this right now. But anyways, besides that, we got a million people watching right now, probably. So yeah, man, this is the first ever edition of the Bryce Boudreaux Show. This weekend it's Bayou Fighting Championship 71 live in New Orleans, live at the Ponce Train Center. We'll be live exclusively on combatsportscoverage.com. Do not trust any other streams. Combat Sports Coverage is your number one destination to watch Bayou Fighting Championship pay-per-views and events. Tickets are on sale now. I believe we will have a sold-out crowd for tomorrow. From what I've been told, ticket sales have been going crazy, and that's very impressive dealing with the fact that we're in the peak of Mardi Gras season right now, and it's a Saturday night in New Orleans, and we got parades going all over the place. So it's BFC 71 tomorrow night, and tomorrow night's main event is Justin Vasquez taking on New Orleans' own, West Bank's own YEHIA AYYASH.
so
YEHIA AYYASH. I couldn't think of a better guest to have other than you, YEHIA. Yaya, I've been knowing you for a while. It is awesome to have you on the first ever edition of Bujo.
yeah, man. I'm happy to be here. It's awesome that you came out with the show and everything, and the name is just perfect. You know, the show at the end, going with your last name, Boudreaux. You know, it's authentically Southern for sure, and I think you'll get a lot of people to watch it for sure. Because you're
Uh,
such a personality, man. I mean, everybody knows you
oh,
from the pro wrestling scene to the MMA scene. I mean, dude, I think it just sits really well, and I think it's a good way for the fans to actually be able to connect with the people that see everything that happens behind the scenes. You know,
I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. I I just do me, bro. I don't put any character on, you know. I'm just
exactly.
me, but it is what it is. Just like you or you, I keep hearing an echo back there. It's got to be my TV automatically played this interview. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, but dude, I appreciate the kind words, Yaya. And just like me is me, you is you, and you are definitely a unique individual. I think you are like the perfect blend. Your culture and your background, which we'll talk more about here in a second, as well as where you live and where you're from. You're from the West Bank of New Orleans. You went to Brother Martin, I believe, right?
Yes, that's right.
That's right.
That's
That's
right.
right.
Alma
You're from the
mater right
West Bank,
there.
so your cultures intertwined, your history, your background. We'll talk a little bit more about your fight coming up tomorrow night, but a bit of a background. Um, I remember a while back we got to talking about it was a shirt you were wearing, and it was like a collage, like an old like 2005 rap album, and it
Oh
was you and
yeah.
like an older guy. I believe that was your grandfather. Can you tell me a little bit more about that and your background as well, your culture and your heritage?
Okay, so yeah, that guy that's on that shirt, my the Team Yaya shirt that I got. Yeah, so I decided to put my grandfather on that shirt while I was an MMA fighter. And started, getting a lot more eyes on me. So we had to come up with a shirt, and so I was trying to think of so many things of what I could do. Put Coach G in there, get me with some good picks, from fighting and everything. But nothing really sit well with me until I thought, okay, why don't I just put my grandfather on there? Because my grandfather, he was he was born in Palestine, and
Oh wow.
yeah, he was born in Palestine around 1940s, and that's when he was like 13, 12 years old, and it was right after World War II. And so he was a warrior himself because, well, what's happening right now, it played such a big impact on my family's life just from him, because he was right after World War II. They were looking for a place for the Jews to go, a homeland for them to feel secure right after World War II. And my grandfather got caught up in the middle of that, with seeing all the British troops come in and everything. And then you have the resistance that doesn't want to move for the Jews. And he was a Muslim and a Palestinian at the same time. And so he was actually a sniper for the Jordanian army, for the ones that were trying to fight back against the United Nations and everything like that. And so my roots for being the warrior I am now, in a different sense, me being in a cage, my grandfather was an actual warrior out on the battlefront, for people fighting for this land, Palestine. And it goes on to this day. And so it's funny how I live on the West Bank in New Orleans, and he was born and raised on the West Bank in Palestine. So it sits, yeah. There we go.
That is dude. I remember you told me that a while back, but I actually kind of forgot that West Bank part. That is nuts, dude.
Yes. It just so happened to work out that way. And then my grandfather named me. He was the one that named me because my father wasn't present. The donor wasn't present, so he was the one that stepped in and was such an influential father, role model to me. And I mean, I couldn't even amount to be that man at all. That's why he's in the center of that, in that T-shirt that I had made. He's on the right side and he's on the left side, the younger version of him as a Jordanian sniper. And then the other side was just him in his old age when he passed away. I believe it was like 4 years ago. Still feels like yesterday, but when he went, I had to pay a lot more homage to him because he was such an influential part, in my life, in my wrestling, in my MMA, in my jiu-jitsu. He would always be there, and so that's what I had to do.
Dude, that's powerful, man. That's very incredible.
Yeah.
I didn't know all of that. I remember you loosely kind of explained it to me one time. There's probably a lot of people out there that did not know that about you and about your family history, your grandfather. So
it goes really deep. That's why I always try to hey, I don't want to give you too much because I'll sit here and talk all day.
That's kind of what we want here. It's the Bryce Boudreaux Show, man. Talking what it's all about. Tomorrow night, you are in the cage. Bayou Fighting Championship 71 going down at the Pontchartrain Center. Our first event of the year, kicking off 2025 with a bang. A little bit of a Mardi Gras theme as we are in the middle of Mardi Gras season in New Orleans, the middle of Carnival. And we're going to be going down live at the Pontchartrain Center tomorrow night. Tickets are still available, but it's pretty slim. There's going to be a lot of walk-ups, and we're expecting a nearly sold-out crowd. If not, it's going to be sold out underneath the chandeliers of the Pontchartrain Center. Also, pay-per-view broadcast. We have it down in the ticker tape down there, a little scrolly scroll. Ticket info, go to bfc.com to get your tickets. Pay-per-view stream is only available at combatsportscoverage.com. Do not click on any other links and do not accept any friend request from Bayou Fighting Championship. Remember, Bayou Fighting Championship is a page. It's not a profile. There's no reason for BFC 71 to send you a friend request. Don't fall for it, and don't put your credit card info into that crap because it's happened to people that I know. But besides all that, tomorrow night, you're in the cage. You're taking on Justin Vasquez. Justin, he had a nickname, and I'm going to be saying it tomorrow night. Slick J, they call him. Slick J or Justin Slick J Vasquez. I'm going to be announcing him. right before I announce you. Most likely he'll be out of the blue corner. Justin Vasquez coming in from Miami, Florida. He was born in Brooklyn, so Miami, Florida, by way of Brooklyn, New York. He's an impressive fighter. I have to say this might be your toughest opponent, and we'll get your take on that here in just a second. He's 11-3. He's 32 years old, a little bit older than you. He's had tremendous amount of fights on Combate Americanas, and now he's coming to New Orleans, coming to your hometown, and you're going to face him tomorrow night in the BFC cage. Have you done any film study on Justin Vasquez?
Of course, of course. Me being who I am now at this point, with the fights that I've had, amateur and pro, I try not to do too much film study. I do film study. You know, I do study a guy, see the tendencies and, you know, what they like to do, what they'll go to when they're in trouble. But I try not to get too caught up in that, because I've gotten caught up in it. I've gotten to the point where, you know, I forget about everything I'm doing just to combat what they do really well. And so I've kind of gotten away from that. I've kind of gotten to more, you know, yeah, we're going to be cautious of things, but we're going to do what we do best, you know.
Right.
And so that's why I when people say, how much film study do you do? Well, I'm not looking at the guy, you know, 24/7 like Amazon, you know, trying to see what your next purchase is going to be.
Right. Your camp for this fight, of course, training out of West Bank Social Club down there on the West Bank. Gary Angele, your coach, the man with the overalls, legendary. How's the camp been training for this fight? Like I said, and your opinion too. We could talk a little bit more about your opponent. Would you say this is the toughest guy you've had to face? I mean, based on his record and everything.
Definitely one of the toughest. And on paper, it's a great resume he has, for sure.
Yeah.
I pay him a lot of respect. But when we get in that cage, there's no respect anymore. And so I see him as a very worthy opponent. You know, I've really liked this fight a lot. I have had some tough opponents coming from Russia or from that area, actually Brooklyn. And, but I think he'll be the most well-rounded fighter that I've ever fought. That's for sure. Because he's got a little bit of wrestling. He's got, you know, some good striking. He's explosive. He throws some really good kicks. And so, you know, that stuff, I try to stay away from the flashy stuff. You know, I try to shut that down before anything gets crazy, you know. And so, yeah, I'm excited for it. I think he is one of the toughest opponents that I've ever fought. For sure.
Yeah, like you said, he's got a hell of a resume. I mean, the guy's fought on Combate Americanas several times. Yeah. That's one of the largest MMA productions out there. I know they used to be strictly Latin, Spanish, but now they've kind of moved out of that, and now they're kind of mixing everybody into it. And they have a hell of a production. I love watching Combate. I don't know if you watch it, but it's great.
I've seen a couple. Yeah, I like.
Dude, like they have like a band that plays the fighters out to the cage, right?
Yes, they do. I mean that stuff is awesome. That's awesome.
It's lit,
especially for the Latino culture.
Oh. Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of Latino culture, we got Los Jefes Mexican Grill. I think they're going to be cooking tomorrow night at the fights. They've got an excellent Spanish cuisine will be available there. Plenty of other great sponsors tomorrow night. Nicole's Limousine service. Love those. I'm going to be partying on a party bus tomorrow night after the show. And Southern Eagle Nola Brewing, American Men Roofing, many others. We can go down the line. Visions Men's Club. Go get your eyes checked. I can list off the sponsors here in a few minutes. I should have pulled that up, all of our sponsors, for all of our amazing, incredible sponsors. But back to you and your opponent. Like many people know that have seen you fight in the BFC cage, you are a wrestler's wrestler. I mean, we've talked about it before. You are incredibly strong, and you're an incredibly just an incredible wrestler. And I guess that goes back to your time wrestling at Brother Martin. You did pretty good at wrestling at Brother Martin, right? Weren't you like a state champion?
I was convinced. I was convinced I was good, and I believed it. And so it was 2010, my first year at Brother Martin. I was an 8th grader, thinking I'm going to be the Darren Sproles on the football team, because Darren Sproles was the running back for the Saints at the time, and I was 5'6". I've only grown 1 inch since since then. But yeah, so I was done football, and I had this world geography teacher, and he showed us. He didn't say a single word. He just brought the projector out, started playing a bunch of wrestling videos of people winning matches and stuff, and then having the actual matches. And it looked like it was like from the 80s. And I was just like, why is this guy showing? It's world geography. Why is this guy showing us this? And his name was Robbie Dotrieve. Robbie Dotrieve told us right when that video stopped, that wrestling video montage, if you'd say, he told everyone in that room, he's like, I was the coach in the 90s, in the early 2000s, that won all the state championships. And I'm back from Hurricane Katrina. And I got tired of being a pharmacist. So I came back, and I want to do something I actually really love. We're not going to win state this year, but I guarantee you we will win state the next 4 years that y'all are here at Brother Martin. And so that I was just like, what's... I was like, are we going to learn world geography today? And so, like, this guy, he saw me as a linebacker, fullback on the football team, and was just like, hey, you want to come out for the wrestling team? And I was like, sure, why not? I was thinking like it was pro wrestling. I never knew wrestling was even a sport. I had no clue. And I didn't know how like intertwined it was with my actual culture coming from the Middle East, And so, like, I dove deeper into it as he made me believe it. My first match when I was an 8th grader, he was just he set me out there. It was Rummel Junior High dual meet, and he sets me out there at like a weight that I was like way under. I was like 160 at the time, and he sets me out there against a 190 pounder, and he was like, I just want you to go out there and tackle him. And that's all I did. I just tackled the guy, let him up. He was like, that's it. You're going to be good one day. And I was like, okay, all right. So I was still playing football, and it wasn't until I was a sophomore. I was a fullback I was a fullback at Brother Martin, and then after that season, we had lost. I think it was to some name with an M in football. But I got so frustrated with that. I got so frustrated with the fact that I was in a team sport, and I was putting out so much.
Sorry to interrupt. Were you planning on buying something?
Yes. Okay. And I was so frustrated at the fact that I was on a team sport and I was putting in so much work, and the results weren't there. And I was just like, I'm done. I'm quitting football. And I'm doing wrestling because I think my ticket is with wrestling. I think I could get a scholarship and help my family out and get me a scholarship into college with wrestling. I got a higher chance. I believed it. And when I left and I quit football that sophomore year, right after that season, I went into the wrestling gym and I was practicing, and my coach decides one day, he says, you want an opportunity? And I was like, sure. He said, all right, well, I want you to wrestle the senior for the 195-pound spot. And I was like, what you mean? Like, what? You want me, sophomore, to start? and at the time, Paul Klein was a freshman, or he was a sophomore as well. He had won state as a freshman, and so he was going to try to win again as a sophomore because he was starting. And so the goal didn't seem at first. It seemed like it was out of sight. Me beating the senior out for the 195-pound spot when I weighed 170 pounds. And at the time, I was just like, this is impossible. And what happened is we had 3 wrestle-offs for the spot. And the first one I won, the second one I lost. And I remember that second time I lost in the wrestle-offs, threw my headgear across the gym. And I remember going in the hallway, and Dotrieve comes up to me, and he says, he says to me, he says, all that anger that you're mad that you lost it means that you won it. And so he gave us another wrestle off, and I won. And I ended up starting that whole season of wrestling, and I ended up becoming the 195-pound runner-up. That's when I knew, I was like, okay, I can be right back here next year in the finals. And sure enough, that was what happened. You know, the next year as a junior, I won state at 182 pounds, and I wrestled a little bit at 195 pounds until the football players got back, and they filled in the 195-pound spot. And that's what I was like, thank God, because these big guys are not for me. And so that little snippet right there played a part of me not being scared of long, tall, lanky guys in MMA, or fighting at 170. Because I've taken down guys that are 195 pounds, almost 200 pounds, when I weighed 170, 180. And I never was in college. I mean, in high school, I never was at the weight I was supposed to be. I was always wrestling up. My coach saw that. He saw the grind, the cardio that I had, and he was like, no, we're going to keep him at 195 pounds, but he has to eat his ass off in order to fool the refs and tell him, he's supposed to be at this weight. He can be at this weight. And so sure enough, everybody's cutting weight, and I'm the only one in the locker room trying to stuff my face.
Wow.
Yep.
Well,
So that was Brother Martin for you. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's high school wrestling. I mean that's any wrestling program. You're either spitting saliva in a bottle, or you're eating everything you see.
Yes.
I mean, I've been there. I never had to eat everything. I was already naturally big. I had to spit in a water bottle and for a little bit, but not very long. But yeah, man. So that's another thing that a lot of people probably didn't know about you. That's pretty impressive, man. You're a fierce competitor. You believed in yourself. You had a great coach behind you and a great program too.
That's
People
for sure.
People don't realize, they don't live in Louisiana. They don't understand. Like, the only wrestling at one time in Louisiana that they had in high school was in New Orleans. And then it all started to branch out, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and there was, north, whatever. There was a spot south of where I live in Lake Charles and Cameron Parish, South Cameron. They had a really good wrestling program, and I think they put themselves on the map for Southwest Louisiana. But I remember wrestling, dude, and I remember going to these tournaments and going to New Orleans, and it was a different animal. I mean, like, these guys were like Olympic style wrestlers. We had state championships at Rummel, and they have an Olympic training facility at Rummel on their campus. And I'm just like, whoa. And Brother Martin, and it's really these private Catholic schools, or these private schools in general, that are always superior.
It helps. It does definitely help that they're all boys.
That too. Well,
yes.
I mean, dude,
No
I'll tell you what, this is
it's almost like Pakistani type shit.
No distraction. That's a good point, man. It's all just machismo, and everybody wants to be better than everybody. There's no distractions. That's a good point. But
That's
I
what
remember,
made us really good. That's what made us good. We won 4 in a row, and that was the only reason. We knew how to
wow,
keep each other accountable. You know.
uh-huh, nice, man.
Mhm.
That's something I didn't think about. I mean, I remember wrestling, and there was, I mean, they didn't split up. It was the genders. I mean, it was just if there was a girl that wrestled, she had to wrestle the guy,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's how
and
it used to be. And now things have changed.
and
But I remember there was a girl, and dude, like the guys didn't know what to do. They never wrestled a girl before in practice. They're wrestling on their teams every tournament, and like these guys would get out there. And I remember there was this one girl, and I don't remember her name, but dude, they didn't know what to do with her. Within seconds, she just like take them down to the mat. It was over
yeah,
because
I think
the
you're talking
guys were
about
just
the world team. She's on the world team. Abby and Net, or something like
could
that.
be.
Yeah, it's got to be her because she's on the world team and she's been at the trials and everything. She's really good.
Oh,
She was from Chalmette or Destrehan, one of those. I know she wore maroon, but she was the only chick out there that I've seen like take out some Holy Cross wrestlers or something like that, you know. And I was like, that guy left off the mat, you know. Don't look at me.
yeah,
But
and
but
didn't.
thank God now they've given the avenue to girls by giving them, you know, a whole division now in Louisiana. That just it makes the bridge between here to the Midwest much smoother. And I'm assuming that's why they put the state championship in Bossier City this year, because they want that. What happens is in college, I found this out, you know, those college wrestlers, those college coaches, they will come down here. They will come down here all the time, and they want to see what wrestler they can pull out of there and mold a lot better than some of the guys up in the Midwest. They're like, oh man, I've been wrestling since I was 6 years old. You know, I ain't got to listen to you. I do this move all the time, you know. And so that's why they come down here, because they know these kids, they've been training in 100-degree weather, you know, and they just haven't had their opportunity. That's it. That's what happened to me. Like I got an opportunity at Virginia Beach tournament after my senior year, and Iowa Lakes Community College came out of nowhere and was just like, "Hey, you wrestle really good. You know, I seen you didn't win some, but you lost some. But I think we can mold you a lot better." And so I took that opportunity because it was a smaller school. A lot of bigger schools were looking for me, but they weren't trying to give me a scholarship. But this smaller school did, and what was it for me was the belief. And being a smaller school, they believed in me a lot more, and so that's why I went that route. But basically, that that bridge between here and the Midwest is getting a
Mhm.
lot stronger for sure.
That's good to hear.
Uh-huh.
Dude, because whenever I wrestled, we just wrestled because I mean, we just wanted to wrestle, and
That's it.
occasionally you'd have guys go to the big camps across the country, and that was that. And there was just once in a while you'd have a guy that went to college for wrestling. But you went to college. Where did you go again? Iowa Lakes.
Yeah, Iowa Lakes Community College. I went there for a faint 2 years.
Okay,
I've wrestled at 174, 165, and 157.
gotcha.
I wrestled at
Dang,
all
bro.
those weights, and it was pretty tough because snow. I'm used to the heat, used to the sun, and man, I got used to running in the snow a lot, running in the
Uh-huh.
mountains, and it was
Oh,
they got like little mountains in Iowa. You wouldn't see them because it's so flat, but you have to look for them. But our coach found us, found us some good mountains to run up and down with 45-pound plates, running 6
bro,
miles.
that's wrestling in the Midwest right there, brother. Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
it it, it,
Uh,
it definitely it added on to what I had here for sure.
oh yeah. Dude, that I didn't know. I did not know that about you, man. That's Iowa Lakes Community College alumni, YEHIA AYYASH. Well, yeah.
Didn't graduate.
Let's. What's that?
I said didn't graduate.
Oh no, most of us didn't graduate. Yeah.
Right. It's a thing nowadays.
Well, fast forward, we jump in the time machine and we jump to February 21st of 2025, and currently it's 4:52 p.m. Central Standard Time. Got a few more minutes left, and we'll wrap it up. Yeah. Like we said, tomorrow night you step in the cage and you take on Justin Vasquez. Once again, one of your tougher opponents that you've had. We talked a little bit about your camp, film study that you may or may not do, and what kind of opponent he brings to the table. The plate should be full, man. It should be a sold-out crowd. See if this will pop up on there. There it is. Boom.
There it goes.
We had it. Well,
Hey, look at those
a little bit
pretty
smaller than I thought it would be. What's that?
I said, look at them pretty faces.
That's it, dude. And you're right there in the middle.
Hey.
That's the flyer for tomorrow night's show. It's going to be slam jam and packed tomorrow night at the Pontchartrain Center. Tickets are still available, although the tickets are going to be slim pickings. So if you haven't got your tickets, you need to get them now, because this event will most likely sell out, which is impressive because we're in the middle of Mardi Gras season and people are deciding that they know where the best entertainment New Orleans is. It's at Bayou Fighting Championship. And the parades will come later. There's a million parades in New Orleans. A lot of the locals will be at Bayou Fighting Championship tomorrow night at the Pontchartrain Center. Tickets available right now at bfc.com. bfc.com, the only place you can buy tickets for this event. bfc.com, or actually you can call the phone number that's on the flyer. That'll bring you to the ticket hotline. And and you can also walk up to the building and get your tickets there, but might be sold out. So you want to get those tickets in advance. That way you know you got a spot to sit at. From what I'm hearing, we'll have a bit of a production upgrade tomorrow night. Not 100%.
Yes.
Don't know 100% if that's going to be true or not, but I'm being told that we are giving back to the BFC fans and we're going to upgrade our production a little bit for tomorrow night. That's pretty cool.
Oh, it is. I can tell you that for sure.
Oh, yeah, man. You'll maybe have lights like these stadium lights up there. I don't know if you can see those or not. Maybe so. I don't know. So tomorrow night, like I said, BFC 71 going down to the Pontchartrain Center. We will be live exclusively on combatsportscoverage.com. There is nowhere else you can watch this event other than combatsportscoverage.com. Do not click on any fake links. Do not put your credit card information in anywhere else other than combatsportscoverage.com. And do not accept any friend request from pages resembling Bayou Fighting Championship. If BFC sent you a friend request, it's not really BFC, because BFC can't send you a friend request. They're a page. So don't be stupid and don't fall for that. And if you put your credit card information in a fake link, it's your own damn fault. We gave you the warning. Combat Sports Coverage, only place you can watch the show, watch the pay-per-view, order the pay-per-view. Big thank you to all of the sponsors for tomorrow night's event. American Men Roofing, why pay more? Know who's on your roof. American Men Roofing, Southern Eagle NOLA Distribution, and Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light. Hooters of Louisiana, Visions, Men's Club, get your eyes checked. Corcel Law, the Swamp Room, site of the weigh-ins tonight. Are you going to the weigh-ins? You got to be there.
Yeah, already did.
Oh, really? Oh, it already happened.
Yep, already happened.
Okay,
I'm fueling up. I'm eating everything in sight.
Good for you, man. Okay, hell yeah. Swamp Room. That's going to be probably our post-fight party. Of course, as you know, our post-fight party going to be at after party, going to be at the Swamp Room. Everybody's going to be hanging out there. Go get a mouth-watering swamp burger or one of their ribeyes, which are fantastic. Visions will be the adult after party if you're interested in going there. Nicole's Limousine Service are going to be partying on their party buses after the show tomorrow night. Fleur de Leaf, New Orleans Harley Davidson, NOLA Living Realty, Used Bikes Direct and usedbikesdirect.com, Champion Graphics, 0 Point Electronic Payments, Pelican Event Productions, R&O Seafood Restaurant. Incredible food at R&O Seafood Restaurant, might I add.
Yes.
One of the best seafood restaurants you'll visit in where the hell is R&O's? They're Well, they're in Metairie, but they're in like old Metairie, right? No. They're on the lake.
Arno's?
Yeah, RNOs. They're like right there on the lake. I don't know. Forget about
Oh,
it. But
I was
RNOs.
thinking. I thought you said Arnold's, like the one in the French Quarter.
Nah. R&O's. RNO's Seafood Restaurant.
Gotcha.
216 Old Hammond Highway, Metairie, Louisiana. It's an awesome
Oh
spot.
yeah,
I had
they're in Metairie. Yeah.
awesome shrimp po' boy there a while back. Bourgeois Fishing Charters, Professional Auto Engines and Transmission, Floyd and Sean Berger over there. Legendary Floyd Berger, a child prodigy boxer. Los Jefes Mexican Grill, they're going to be cooking over there. Gulf Coast Service Group, Faux Pas Prince, Messina's Catering and Events, Rhino Web Studios, and I believe we added a new sponsor as well. La Calle 97.9 FM. Latin radio, man.
Yeah. La Calle.
Like you listen to that. You listen to the radio station?
Damn
Dude,
right.
this is the first time I've heard about La Calle. I can't wait to
La Calle. That's what they say. Every
jam to
time.
their jams.
Yeah, you gotta say it like that. La Calle.
La Calle. Hell yeah. I can't wait, bro. It's gonna be awesome. BFC 71 tomorrow night. YEHIA, final words from you. You have any shout outs you want to give? People that have helped you for this camp and maybe your sponsors as well. You have the floor.
Yes. Okay. I want to definitely thank a lot of my sponsors. Always want to thank the Wabbit of the West Bank, best home cooked food you'll get out of here, lunch specials from there, really good. El Gato Negro over there in Gretna, but specifically the one in the French Quarter, they're really good. It's Margarita Day tomorrow, so you gotta go get your margaritas from El Gato Negro.
Pineapple cilantro margaritas, the best in the world.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. They actually got like a Mardi Gras drink this time, a Mardi Gras margarita. I don't know how it's gonna taste, but I'm gonna go check it out. Maybe Sunday. I also want to thank Jefferson Sprinkler over here on the West Bank as well. They always are supporting me some way or the other. I want to thank Gemini Chiropractor and Rehab. They got a West Bank location now. They have one off of Chapatulas, but now they're expanding. So if you have, some back problems or anything, they're on Wall Boulevard over there in Gretna. They're really good. Just tell them YEHIA sent you. And I also want to thank Jimmy Broussard's Plumbing, Favorites, Promotional, and Apparel. Also want to thank Aurora Animal Hospital. They're really good. I send all my dogs that I run with over there. And
nice.
Yeah. You got to make sure they're healthy, because I got to keep a pace. Also want to thank Antidote Juice over there in the city, in the business district. They're really good for me, rehydrating and everything. And the West Bank Social Club, of course. My hometown, my home club. That's my home away from home.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Love West Bank. I love how y'all have kind of adopted me, adopted everybody that loves.
Oh yeah,
West Bank.
you're with us now, man.
Hell yeah. Dude, the West Bank's honorary announcer.
Yes.
Honorary West Bank resident. I love it, bro.
Right.
Can't wait to see everybody with the West Bank crew tomorrow night. A quick rundown before we leave. I totally forgot to run down the card really quick. Just a few of the bouts that you're going to see tomorrow night. Ironclad, Chad Craig, DJ Rami, Chad.
That's gonna be a spicy one.
Chad's your boy. Rami,
Yes.
Rami's cool too. I can't wait to see that. Rami's a fierce competitor. Let's see. Oh, bare knuckle action. Our second bare knuckle bout in the history of BFC. Duke the Nuke Sensley, one of the top-ranked bare knuckle fighters in the United States. Definitely numero uno in Louisiana, taking on Wesley Golden. The last bare knuckle fight in BFC was Duke, and he knocked that guy out in like what, 12 seconds? One
punch thrown. One punch thrown from that man.
Duke go nuke him. Duke go nuke him. BFC has a bare knuckle division, y'all. So if you're a bare knuckle fighter, you want the smoke, holler at BFC and see if you can take on the beast, take on the nuke. Duke gonna nuke him. Charles Kill Illuminati Clark taking on Jay McLaurin. Adam Ghazali taking on Roy George. Of course, you in the main event, Muhrab YEHIA AYYASH taking on Justin Slick J Vasquez. That's going to be a great main event. Also, Kendon Kaiser and Corey Hitman Stewart. Been looking forward to seeing Corey Stewart back in the BFC cage. He's strong. He's super strong. He's super compact. He's perfectly built, and he's very, very strong. I don't want to mess with him. Neil O'Day and Chaz Como. It's going to be a Muay Thai bout. Chaz Como, always great to see Chaz Como. Jason Asher and Shane Kennedy. And Tegan Bielman and Roy George. Oh, I think that was a correction. Tegan Bielman and Roy George. Card subject to change, but tomorrow night, guaranteed, you're going to see the big main event, the hottest ticket in New Orleans, BFC 71's main event. Muhrab YEHIA AYYASH taking on Slick J Justin Vasquez as he comes into your turf, and it's going to be awesome. I can't wait. I got to get ready. I got to head to New Orleans. Like, I'm running behind schedule. So I will see you tomorrow night, YEHIA, and looking forward to it. YEHIA, thank you so much for coming on. This was literally happened out of nowhere. We made it happen. The first episode of the Bryce Boudreaux Show is in the books. That's about it, everybody. So for YEHIA AYYASH and everybody here at Bayou Fighting Championship that you'll see tomorrow night, that is Muhrab YEHIA AYYASH. I am Bryce Boudreaux. You have seen the first ever episode of the Bryce Boudreaux Show because it goes right to left. I used to say that all the time because it goes right to left. And that's about it. I don't know what else to say now. Au revoir.
Au revoir.